My name is Joseph. I fell asleep one day and I woke up 1,000 years later. I didn't realise 1,000 years had passed till I walked out the door and realised everything had changed. Everything. My neighbours were not my neighbours, they were different people. Everyone seemed to have changed and I seemed to have grown 50,000 feet. I seemed to be a man mountain and everyone seemed to have shrunk and everyone seemed to have changed from a human being into, well, what appeared to be more like this. For example, I walked up to someone and I said to them, "Hi neighbour, I haven't met you before," and this was their reaction. "Hi Joseph." I couldn't understand it first until I met another neighbour and I said to them, "Howdy neighbour," and they said to me, "Hi Joseph." Eventually it started to dawn on me, these people were fuck all like me. And so eventually though, it got worse and worse and worse, till something started to dawn on me. I started to realise that they all were in on a special secret, and most of them had this face when they saw me coming. The special secret face, right? And others had this look on their face when they saw me coming. The special secret face, right? Slowly yet surely, it started to dawn on me that something had, I was perhaps, maybe I'd fallen asleep and ended up on the wrong fucking planet, right? The species that were around me were absolutely fucking tiny, absolutely fucking tiny by my own understanding of what they are, right? They seem to have shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk, and I seem to have grown and grown and grown and grown and grown, right? And so on it went, and I had to try and understand it, right? And slowly but surely, these people in the background started to reveal themselves to me. And they started to reveal that there was people behind hiring all these whores to pretend to be my neighbours, right? All these puppets. There were puppeteers, and it turned out there was a king called Caractacus and a prince called Nathaniel, right? I didn't know anything about them. They were in a competition against each other, and I was just in the kind of middle. And all these people were hired by them because it was to entertain their court and their court. And I wasn't in the game, and I'd just been asleep, and I'd absolutely no idea everyone in my life had been replaced with fuck toys, right? I repeat, I speak to a neighbour, and this is the reaction. "Hi Joseph." Right? And I speak to another neighbour. "Hi Joseph." You see, I don't remember those being my neighbours when I fell asleep. I was asleep for 1,000 years, and these microscopic creatures replaced my neighbours, yeah? And what came across again and again and again was hatred. You know, don't get me wrong, I'd always experienced hatred, so it's nothing unusual. But however, it was organised hatred, and it was organised by King Caractacus and Nathaniel, right? Who I was yet to meet, who were in this magical competition against each other, using all these prostitutes, who essentially sold their soul to these devils, and that's what became of them. After you sell your soul, you shrink, you shrink, you shrink, you shrink, you shrink, and you shrink. And you go from looking like a human being to looking like... because they believe that on the winning team, they're the in crowd, and I'm the out crowd, yeah? But I don't really want to be in that fucking in crowd, because the bowels of hell, do you really want to be in the bowels of hell with that in crowd, do you? Well, it turns out they do, you know, and it's for a mess of pottage, you know. And it turns out King Caractacus and Nathaniel know, that they're dragging them to fucking hell with them, and there's no way they can get out of it, so they want to take as many people with them as they can and fool these people into following them to hell, and they're 100% aware that's what's happening. However, so slowly yet surely, King Caractacus revealed himself to me. Well, not in his underpants, and Prince Nathaniel revealed himself to me. It took ages though, ages and ages, where they sent fucktoy after fucktoy to communicate with me in various weird ways. I just couldn't work it out. And it turned out King Caractacus wanted me to join his cult, and Prince Nathaniel wanted me to join his cult. But I'm not that kind of a person, you know. I'm not interested in the occult. And so, and also, I realised essentially these people are insects, right? And it took me a long, long time to be able to magnify and amplify that lower form of life, right? Or that lower form of life, you know, and they're the identicons. And so, here's the thing though, so eventually I was summoned to the court of King Caractacus, and I spoke to him, right? And I said to him, what is it you actually want, King Caractacus?
I can't tell you, Joseph. I can't tell you. You have to work it out for yourself.
Work what out for myself?
I can't tell you, Joseph. You have to work it out for yourself.
But I'd already worked it out, and you might think, well, haven't you already worked it out, Joseph? I'm a great theorist, right? And so even when I say something, and I believe it to be true, I need to know before I know. So I went back to King Caractacus and said, I don't know what you're on about.
I can't tell you, Erol. You have to work it out. What I'm going to do is send messages to you via prostitutes, right? Chicken bones, numbers that are upside down, letters of the alphabet. You have to work out, throw them down, get some tea leaves, and at 9 o'clock, stand on top of a bridge in direct moonlight, and then look northwest, and then work this all out, and then come back to me.
So I went away and thought about it, and eventually I worked it out, or so I thought. And so I thought to myself, right, the chicken bones, the tea leaves, that time of night on the moonlit bridge, and I look northwest or whatever the fuck it was, pull my trousers and have a laugh, and I worked it out. I think what he meant was that I had to get my guitar out and play the guitar for him, right? So I said to him, do you want me to play the guitar for you? And he said,
yeah, I want you to be my personal minstrel.
I eventually remembered that word. So I got my guitar out and I started playing. And King Caractacus said,
that's fucking shite. Play something better.
so I thought, alright, fair enough. What can I do then? Right? And King Caractacus said,
That's a bit better, but still fucking shite. Play me something else, because I've got a fucking gigantic foot and it's fucking honking and it's caused me a lot of pain and the music helps soothe me.
so I decided to think up something else, you know. And King Caractacus said,
That's better. Come back tomorrow, but that was shite, really. I want you to be even better tomorrow.
which went on for weeks. And at the end of it, I lost my voice, and my fingernail found a new bed, and I ended up in bed for a couple of days. And so the thing was, and then King Caractacus didn't speak to me again. And so I was then summoned to the court of Prince Nathaniel, and he said to me,
Erol, in the morning I'm very, very miserable. And when I'm eating my breakfast, I need someone to make me laugh.
What slowly dawned on me was King Caractacus and Prince Nathaniel were billionaires, and they were asking a man who didn't have two pfennigs to rub together to be their essential private minstrel and private comedian, right? But they told me sob stories, him with his gigantic foot, and he'd fallen off his bike and his balls had bounced down the road and some of his head went flying into the woods on Route 666. However, what still didn't dawn on me, I'll come to, right? And so I said to Prince Nathaniel, so you want me to be like your private comedian when you're eating cornflakes?
Yes, Erol, that's what I want. Otherwise, I'm going to keep committing crimes against you.
And when he said that, it hadn't dawned on me that he was committing crimes. And then I realised, oh fuck, right, see all these hate-consumed neighbours all around me? He'd paid for them. Paid for these fucking prostitutes to be hateful towards me. I'm just so used to hatred, I just thought, well, it's just automatic from the people. And also, he'd committed other crimes that I'll come back to. And so, wait for it, that bastard, he'd done the exact same thing. He'd paid for the other side of the fucking street. And so, and they're in competition with each other, laughing without me fucking knowing, right? And so, because I don't know this, I said to Prince Nathaniel, okay, I'll do my best to try and make you chuckle, you know, and he said,
Thank you, Erol. Thank you. Do you mind if I masturbate while you're doing it?
which kind of threw me off, right? And a part of me didn't really understand what he was meaning. So I thought to myself, well, I'll see if I can do this remotely, like, you know, through the interweb, and see if I can make him chuckle. And if he is masturbating, I'll certainly not see that. And so I went into a kind of comedy routine, but if you excuse the pun, I didn't know that he was homosexual. So I kept throwing in these kind of punchlines. Some of them were about homosexuals with arseholes like wizard sleeves, and, you know, if you stand downwind of them, you can smell Vaseline on a summer's day. And this was his reaction.
I'm going to kill you, Erol.
So from that I gathered I hadn't been the kind of funny, free comedian that he'd been looking for. And I was just being compassionate. Him with his clubbed foot, him with half his brain and his nuts missing. Oh, wait for it, and I think half his legs were away from the knee down. So he wears stilts and he's the height of cheek. The point is, you can choose whatever height he wants to be. So in a nutcake, so there's the King Caractacus and Prince Nathaniel, and this went on for quite some fucking time, and I wasn't really aware. I was being battered backwards and forwards like a tennis ball, you know, between these two characters, right? And basically, it turns out King Caractacus is bisexual, and it turns out Nathaniel is homosexual, right? And the thing is, what I've noticed in life is, hatred, thy middle name is vagina, and envy, thy middle name is butt boy. I don't think that's a coincidence, right? The top 50 serial killers in North America are all homosexual. Now, am I anti-homosexual? No. When Freddie Mercury died, I cried for 2 weeks. One of the greatest comedians of all time, in my book, is Kenny Everett. And, you know, there are lots and lots of homosexuals throughout time, and bisexuals who I think are fantastic people and the rest of it. However, it has to be said, though, I'm just telling the truth, I'm conveying statistics, that homosexuals are far, far more likely to be serial killers. Am I being homophobic? No, I'm not scared of them. Obviously, I'm doing stand-up comedy for them. So that aside though, so in a nutcake, so I was passed between Prince Nathaniel and King Caractacus, but what I didn't realise was there was other creatures involved, right? I didn't see them. They were so tiny. These insectoid imps, right? And this is their minion, right? And it's all really for their own aggrandisement, and they surrounded themselves with these insects who are like this. And they started following me about, right, wherever I went. And the disturbing thing about them was this, right? I realised that King Caractacus and Prince Nathaniel could actually see through my eyes. using some kind of futuristic technology. I was asleep for 1,000 years, right? So it turns out that when the insects, these fucktoys, they know that these two can see through my eyes, so they would dance before me to make the prince and the king laugh, right? So to cut a long story short, I started realising this. So what happened was, one of them walked up to me, and when they walked up to me, they were kind of like going like this, right? And what I didn't realise was they were a transformer. So what they were was someone essentially pretending to be someone in the court of King Caractacus or in the court of Prince Nathaniel, and they were hiring a fuck toy that kind of looked a bit like them and essentially aggrandising themselves to aggrandise the king and the prince, right? And so I didn't know this, and so, but it was just that look, that same look, you know, of eventually got that. And sometimes I go walking through the woods and these pieces of shit would follow me. Hi Erol, we're just going to follow you through the woods. Right? And then I've walked into a shop. Hi Joseph, we're just going to follow you through the woods. Right? If I walked into a shop. Hi Joseph, we're just going to follow you through the shop. And on it went. So eventually I learned the phrase ambient abuse. I learned, you know, psychological torture, all that kind of stuff. And so on it went, right? And so what didn't dawn on me, really, although I said it earlier, was eventually I had to go back to the court of King Caractacus and say to him, what is it you want? And he said to me,
Joseph, you're going to have to work it out for yourself. My foot's stinking and it's gigantic, and I've got piles. And the point is this though, you have to work it out for yourself. Tonight, there'll be a delivery with a message in it. It'll be upside down, Chinese, you've got to decipher it, put it together with some hieroglyphics, look in the mirror, look down, there'll be microdots, magnify the microdots, walk backwards, drop your underpants, laugh, and then work it out and get back to me.
So, the thing was, I thought to myself, well that's fucking needless. However, I thought, well, if it gets to the bottom of all this shite, maybe if I sort it out, I can crack on with my life and get away from these fuck toys and these hate-consumed bastards that follow me out everywhere. And I just, you know, can like do my charity work and that kind of stuff. And so, when I was, you know, working this out, microdots and I get chicken bones again, whatever it was, messages from the moon, and people showing up at my door going, got a message for you, but it's backwards and it's in semaphore. So anyway, so I went over that, right? And I thought I'd worked it out. And so, but I still had to be absolutely certain. And then Prince Nathaniel contacted me and said,
Erol, ignore King Caractacus. Listen to me, right? Tonight at 11 p.m, the police will come to your door, right? They'll be in their underpants and they'll have carrots. And when they have the carrots, I want you to dice them. And when you dice them, you have to work out how much you have to dice them and find the hidden message. Put it under a magnascope, and what to do is walk backwards, look at the moon, hold the carrots up and find out what I mean.
So I thought to myself, what the fuck is he on about? And so I did it anyway. So I'm trying to work out what King Caractacus is on about and Nathaniel's on about, Prince Nathaniel, and I couldn't work it out. This went on for fucking years and years and years. Everywhere I went, I was followed by bing bang boo, bing bang boo, right? And I went in the other direction, bing bang boo, bing bang boo, bing bang boo, right? I was in the house, there'd be people slamming doors, people banging on the wall, people driving by in their cars, people fucking honking their horns, you know, anything that's what's known as ambient abuse, right? And sometimes I would walk into the house and something had changed. And it turns out Prince Nathaniel and King Caractacus had actually hired people to come into my house. And for example, somebody would walk in, there's like a rat sitting in the living room. Hi Joseph. Right? And sometimes I'd walk into the kitchen and there'd be a mouse. Hi Joseph. There wasn't much difference between, you know, the minion and the rodents. Cartoon rats stuck in a drain pipe. So anyway, the point is this, right? So this went on for fucking years and I still didn't know what the fuck they were on about. Wait for it. here's what started to happen. Prince Nathaniel learned that I'm actually quite good in the guitar, although what I played earlier was fucking shite, right? And so, Prince Nathaniel said this to me.
Joseph, I think you're quite good in the guitar, but in order for your music to get anywhere, you have to suck my cock.
So I kind of gathered from that, you would think that's what it was all about. I still didn't get it. I didn't know what the fuck he was on about. And so, King Caractacus contacted me, right? And he said, you know, this.
Joseph, right? There's a lot of business in this country, a lot of business, right? And you've run businesses, and you want to do stuff for charity, right? In order to do things for charity, in order to do things for businesses, you've got to suck my foot.
Right? And I still didn't get it. And this went on for fucking years. And again, they're knocking me this way, knocking me that way like a fucking tennis ball. In their fantasy world, it's a game of football. Tennis, right? And very often it was just a net ball. It didn't come over the fucking net because I'm up here. They're way down there. He thinks he's up there, but he actually is down there. However, we can't do it with the same camera every time, because then you'd think to yourself, this is pish. So anyway, in a nutcake, so the whole of the court of King Caractacus and Nathaniel's court, Prince Nathaniel's court, revealed themselves to me over the course, and maybe go, oh no, they've been watching through my eyes all this time, even when I've been masturbating with my trousers down in the living room.
You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be masturbating in the fucking living room. Fucking, I've no testicles either. One of his testicles bounced down the fucking road. I've got no testicles, he's got one fucking testicle. The point is, you shouldn't be masturbating in the fucking living room.
So I was dictated to by the court of King Caractacus because I didn't know that if I masturbate, I've got an audience who can see through my eyes, see through my fucking tell-eye vision, and I'm sitting looking at a beautiful, beautiful woman, you know, and just trying to get that out of my fucking head, you know. It will never be out of my heart, you know. And the thing is, though, so then Prince Nathaniel contacts me, and
Joseph, have we got through to you yet? You have to choose a side.
I still didn't get it, right? All these fucking years, all these factoids, all these slime bags, you know, following me about everywhere and all that kind of thing. I think they're on TV and that. I hadn't a clue. And what was meant to happen was, I was meant to choose a side, right? And if I chose a side, then it would stop, right? The crimes, the ambient abuse, all the crimes against humanity. Wait for it. Also, but in order to see through my eyes, they had to drive beams through my head and also essentially irradiate me and shorten my life. So essentially it was like being crucified, slowly, in a very, very futuristic type of way. However, that didn't dawn on me. I had to be visited by an alien called Davod, right, who flew in, right, and landed in my garden, right, which was allowed by a corrupt council. And he got out and he said to me, Joseph, I've been watching you for fucking thousands upon thousands of light years away. These fucking pieces of shit are serial killers and they're fucking slowly murdering you. And I had to get here as fast as fuck. I'm really glad I got here. Well, it's a real pleasure to meet you, Davod, but I don't know what the fuck you're on about. You don't know what the fuck you're on about. These evil bastards, right, these fucking butt boys, they're passing you about like a fucking tennis ball, and they're all in it together, these fucking evil retards, right? They're all sex offenders, sadistic fucking serial killers, and the thing is, right, they're all like, you might have seen it, right? And the fact is this, right, I'm here to fucking murder them all. Murder them all? Aye, I've come here to fucking kill every man of them. They're pieces of fucking shit. Fucking sadistic sex offenders who are laughing at fucking killing people slowly but surely, and like essentially being on television through your fucking eyes, right? Irradiating you, fucking committing every crime under the fucking sun, laughing at and asking you for fucking favours. When you put it like that, I realised playing the guitar for King Caractacus was probably a bit of a mistake, you know. Doing stand-up comedy for Prince Nathaniel was a bit of a boo-boo. However, something happened and Davod fucked off. I didn't see him again for weeks. And I got a message, and chicken bones and tea leaves from King Caractacus. So I went to his court and he said to me,
Joseph, see, I've got a couple of kids. I need your help with my kids, right? They love you, secretly love you, right? And they've been watching through the television. They can actually see you masturbating and that kind of thing. They pretty much love you. We all love you. I mean, we're killing you, but we love you. And the thing is, right, we need you to babysit them.
I didn't know what the fuck he was on about. So anyway, so that happened. And then Prince Nathaniel contacted me and said,
Erol, now do you understand? You've got to choose between being his free babysitter, unpaid babysitter, or come with me and your music will reach a gigantic audience and you can have millions and millions of pounds.
So it kind of dawned on me. And I basically told them both to get to fuck. So I told King Caractacus, with all due respect, fuck off. Right? Fuck off. I'm not going to do anything for you anymore. I understand what you're all about. I've no interest in your occult, sex offender, serial killing nonsense and evil, right? I'm going to heaven, you're going to hell, right? And then I told Prince Nathaniel, with all due respect, fuck off with your so-called fame and fortune. I'm not going to pay for fame and fortune with my soul, which is fucking priceless. You know, for a mess of pottage. And then I remembered, he told me that he actually was envious of me and influenced heavily by me and actually wanted to leave the life he was in, but if he did, he'd be murdered for it. And then I remembered fucking King Caractacus. He told me he was riddled with envy about me and wanted to win an imaginary competition, only he was in, where he was determined to get my soul off me. And he couldn't bring himself to admit he'd lost. He couldn't get my soul off me. He'd offered me all the money that he could come up with and kind of chicken bones and tea leaves messages, and I'm not interested. I can't go in that direction. In the same way, I repeat, I'm 50,000 foot fucking tall, and he wanted me to go through the eye of a needle. Imagine a 50,000 foot tall man going through the eye of a needle, being skinned alive, his soul fucking off, and essentially getting down on his knees and sucking a gigantic rotten foot. So that's what he was after, right? And Prince Nathaniel, essentially, he wanted the same thing for me, to a 50,000 foot tall man, to go down into a fucking insect hive, go through the eye of a fucking needle, into a vat of acid, right? Eviscerate myself, and then go on my knees and suck his cock, right? So with all due respect, I told them both to get to fuck, right? And unsurprisingly, the crimes increased. So, what happened was, I was sitting in my house, and what happened was like about 5,000 wagons went past, you know, kind of like just there's people shouting out the window going, followed by people coming up going, yeah. And what I realised was these people had sold their soul for buttons to do this for them, and they did it all day. They did it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, driving past my house going night and day, right? It didn't dawn on me for quite some time. Alright, they're trying to get me to change my mind, but it had been years for them to get to that point, and I still hadn't completely worked it out. And so then people would walk up to the door, slam the door, hammer the door, break the window, fucking, you know, shout through a letterbox, and all this kind of shit. And on it went, and it's ambient abuse, which is psychological torture, aimed at trying to cause you post-traumatic stress disorders till you're exhausted and ultimately will either commit suicide or suck his foot or suck his cock, you know, and join the dark side. And it's never going to happen, right? So an alien called Davod came back into that juncture. Joseph, they're fucking retards, they're scumbags, they're pieces of fucking shite, they're typical fucking butt boys. I'll help you with them, I'll fucking wipe them off the face of the fucking earth. I had to go another place and kill every cunt on the fucking planet. You up for it? I said, Davod, what do you mean? You're a serial killer as well.
Aye, they're serial fucking killers. They're really, they murder in plain view, very slowly, right, so they can get away with it. These fucking evil bastards. And they're in control of everything. These fucking evil bastards, these fucking deranged butt boys, and their wee fuck toys, these wee fucking, fucking morons that have fuck all self-awareness, they're fucking insects, right, in human form, fucking insects.
Well, when you put it like that, Davod, I can see what you're saying, but are you not a serial killer as well, Davod?
I'm a fucking mass murderer.
Right? I don't know if I'm getting names mixed up here. However, the point is, so I said to Davod, what do you mean you're a mass murderer?
I'm guilty of countless acts of genocide.
So you like go from planet to planet and murder lots and lots of people?
Those that fucking deserve it, have it coming, brought it themselves or fucking asking for it. The kind of cunts that target innocent people and say, deserved it, had it come and brought it themselves and asked for it. Typical fucking sadistic sex offenders. Typical fucking sadistic sex offenders.
So it kind of got through to me that Davod was the serial killer of serial killers, right? And I thought to myself about it, you know, and I thought I'd try and reason with Davod because I believe in the moral law of divinity. Right, where if you do something with bad intention in your heart, right, no like long-term goodness, you know, genuinely just bad intention, then it comes back, and it comes back slowly, yet surely, right, and, you know, King Caractacus is sitting with a giant foot that stinks of shit, and Prince Nathaniel has got no legs and half his brain still on Route 66. No, Route 666, right? And so, and all the minion of these two abominations, all of them would contact me and say,
I'm fucked in the head, Joseph. Don't punch down.
I'm fucked in the head, Joseph. Don't punch down. Took me ages to realise they're punching up. But because I'm so fucking tall, I wasn't aware of it. But they'd been committing crimes against me for fucking donkey's years. I mean, every kind of crime under the fucking sun you can think of. And these wee dirtbags, these wee fucking insects, right? And all of them, you know, believing that they're on television and, you know, dancing for their king and prince, you know, when they are walking shite. And behind the scenes, they didn't know that King Caractacus and Prince Nathaniel essentially say, these people are fucking shite. And it's an embarrassment to have them about us, but we do it for aggrandisement because essentially they're our fuck toys to dance about. And we use them to prey on people like you, so you will suck our foot or suck our cock, and you know, to the victor go the spoils, you know. And that's it. And after that, your music gets out with Prince Nathaniel. After that, you go into business with King Caractacus and everyone's allowed. However, by that juncture you've got an arsehole like a wizard's sleeve, and you might as well have peeled your temple off with a fucking fruit knife and thrown your soul in the bin, you know. And everything that could possibly go wrong in your life is returned to you slowly yet surely, because there's a moral law. The source of love itself punishes you. Think about that. The most loving force conceivable punishes you individually, inescapably, particularly and personally, and it's fucking brutal, right? And they told me essentially what's happened to them. Think about what happened to Prince Nathaniel, right? Dum 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 dum. Right? And he watched his balls, one of his balls, bounced in the road and his legs come off, and woke up with half his fucking head missing, like a reject from Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. Winning, right? And what happened to King Caractacus?
Pretty much, see every day when I wake up, it's 1984. And, you know, so I'm essentially a groundhog. And you can smell my foot from literally 50 fucking miles away. And I'm a miserable bastard. I've got post-traumatic stress disorder. And I've got terminal cancer.
Winning! So anyway, so you can understand why they're existentially envious of me. That aside, so an alien called Davod put in an appearance again.
Joseph, it's time to kill these fucking cunts, right? There's fucking millions of them. I've got the weaponry, right? I can sort all this fucking out. I can take that fucking thing with your fucking head, clean your pineal gland, you're sorted, right? And it's going to be super cool, right? And I need your permission.
So I said to Davod, why do you need my permission? I'm glad you're asking me. Why do you need my permission though? Well, I'm really glad you're asking me though.
Because you're the fucking greatest man that's ever fucking lived.
Which came as a bit of a surprise to me. And so I thought to myself, oh right, I get it. Right, these billionaires who literally run everything, begging me for favours and then, you know, taking advantage and trying to reduce me to this, that and the other. But essentially wanting me to join their cult and to try aggrandise himself by me associating with essentially insects in human form, with insects in human form beneath them in their court. And who told me their life stories and wanted pity and help. If you give them it, they want to reduce you to something lower. If you give them whatever they want, they'll reduce you to something lower. If you give them that, they want to reduce you to something lower. If you give them that, they want to reduce you to something lower, till eventually you're babysitting their children and sucking their foot and sucking their cock. And not for me. I'm going in that direction. So I gave it some thought. And an alien called Davod put in an appearance again. I can do that louder. Next time.
Have you made your mind up yet, Joseph? You're the fucking greatest man of all time, right? Think about it. The fucking rulers of this fucking planet look up to you. They're fucking insects by comparison to you. And they're fucking serial killers. And they do it for sadistic pleasure. And they're guilty of countless acts of coupled homicide. People fucking kill themselves because these pieces of fucking shit. They exhaust them and then they suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. It takes them fucking years to recover. And usually they'll fuck themselves off a cliff. Right? So it's culpable homicide. They're fucking serial killers. No, it doesn't happen all the time. Somebody throws down a fucking cushion and says, Here, recover. Here's how you recover. We'll be back.
So I give it a lot of thought. And I return to the point. There's a moral law, you know, where if I let Davod kill them, then essentially that moral law will punish Davod. Now, and you would think to yourself, well, isn't it okay to kill serial killers? But wouldn't that make you a serial killer? You know, surely with modern technology that there may be some solution where there can be a sort of harmony, right? And, you know, where he could like dominate them in some way and cut it off at the pass, instead of like murdering all these fucktoys, these fucking sadistic sex offenders who essentially are insects in human form, right, by comparison to me. And so I gave it a lot of thought, and Davod eventually came back and said,
Have you made your mind up yet, Joseph? Because basically, I'm going to kill them whether you make your mind up or not.
So I asked Davod if it was okay to go and speak to King Caractacus and then to Prince Nathaniel and see what they thought. And he said,
Go on yourself. I'm your fucking guru.
So off I went. And I said to King Caractacus, what's happening here? There's a guy who showed up. He goes from planet to planet and he murders people like you because even though, well, I get the impression there's loads and loads of people like you. But the thing is, I've learned your life story because you've sent me so many chicken bones and fucking kidney beans and tea leaves and coded messages, and I actually know your kids now, and I know him inside out and fucking you inside out. I know your entire fact. And you've actually given me more appreciation than my own so-called family, who are a bunch of fucking whores you've used as fuck toys and puppets to haunt me, and I don't want anything to do with them. Essentially, I don't really want him to kill you, especially since you're just one wee, court of lots and lots of other serial killers, loads of them. I mean, the planet is covered in serial killers who all believe, they think in terms of power, which means to kill as many people in plain view and get away with it, and therefore, the more you can do that, the more powerful you must be. Because if you can murder people in plain view and get away with it, and amaze all these insects, then basically you are this powerful being. Power, though, is self-destruction amongst others. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And every single person around is corrupted by them, and they're dragging them all to hell. And all the whores they drag into my life, who are so happy to get these shekels, they're prepared to commit any crime, which, think about this, sadism is the root of all evil, and the penultimate step into evil is greed. And King Caractacus actually gave me that lens and said to me, look, all these pieces of shit in your family, all these pieces of shit all around you, these fucking dirty low-life cunts, and your neighbours, all these dirty low-life cunts, we give them shekels, and they sell their fucking soul, and they're the antithesis of you. You're a fucking mountain. These people are fucking insects by comparison to you. Here's this fucking lens. Look at these dirty low-life bastards, right? He put it in his own voice. The point is, I'm saving myself that on the throat. And so, in a nutcake, so I got the greed lens, and I'd used all these lenses to magnify all the way fucking down, to be able to see, essentially, amplify and magnify insects. And so, the insectoid, and don't get me wrong, on an IQ, a kind of genius level, and an EQ, insectoid. And so what I'm pointing out though is, people, the penultimate step into evil, to throw your soul away, is greed. You know, and these creatures preyed on all the people around me and said to them, sell your soul, because Erol's genuinely this wonderful, wonderful person, but there's X amount of thousands and thousands of pounds, sell your fucking soul, right? And they did it. And they got on their knees and sucked his cock, got on their knees and sucked the shite out of his foot, right? And you know, took it up the arse, right? And they went on like that for fucking years, and I didn't know. I was so glad to see the back of them. You know, I actually thanked them. Thank you, King Correcticus. Thank you, Prince Nathaniel.
You're welcome, Joseph. You're very, very welcome.
You're welcome, Joseph. You're very, very welcome.
Now, I tend to take shite and turn it into something really good. So, you know, it could be witting or unwitting on their part. And so, nonetheless, though, I had that greed lens. And so, sadism, they're sadistic sex offenders, and that's what they get off on, and delusions of power, and, you know. And so, in a nutcake, with that lens, though, I saw these people who they were getting to throw their soul away and peel themselves alive, just fricassee themselves. Throw that in there. And so, and it's greed. Greed is the final step that leads into sadism. If you give people enough money, they'll be a sadist. Isn't that amazing? I'm the antithesis. I'm this man mountain. And Davod was right. I am the greatest man of all fucking time. How? Well, who are the greatest men in history? Well, you might think of Moses, or Yehoshua of Nazareth, better known as Jesus Christ, thanks to Constantine the Great. Moses took the people who are murdering everybody on earth, guilty of homicide right now, and he threw them off a fucking cliff. They were Pharaoh's fuck toys, if you know your history. So Moses murdered people, right, when he discovered that they were the scum of the fucking earth. And they're in charge right now of everything that's happening on this earth. Wait for it though. And so, wait for it. Yehoshua of Nazareth took a bullwhip to people in the temple for usury. That crime you'll find on every street corner and knows a bank. Right? He took a bullwhip to people. Didn't end there. What people don't know about Yehoshua of Nazareth, he set up Yehuda, otherwise known as Judas, and set him up so he was crucified, and then he fucked off, right? And he fucked off, quite literally. And people don't know that. And to cut long story short, so those are two of the greatest men I can think of in history, other than Constantine the Great, who was really heavily influenced by Yehoshua, who you might think was a better man, however, did quite a lot of killing. In fact, one of the number one things he did was kill people like King Caractacus, and kill people like Prince Nathaniel. One of the first things he did was classify them as being pagans, right? Pagans, right? What does that mean? It means peasants, right? It means gutter trash who should not have been in that position, because if you put trash in that position, what do they fucking do? Well, they can be relied upon to be sadistic sex offenders who abuse people for delusions of grandeur and feelings of power, and it just gets worse. It's corruption, and it corrupts absolutely, right? So, to cut long story short, I'm not like that. So when I went back to Davod, I told him, look, no, I'm not like that. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, Moses and Yehoshua are probably the greatest men of all time, right? And maybe in third place Constantine, who had the greatest empire in history. It lasted 1,000 years until shite like that got back in, right? Just telling the truth. And so what happened was, I said, yeah, I get it. I don't want to kill anybody, even serial killers. And they've told me their life story. I've accidentally ended up, serenading them and fucking making them laugh and fucking, babysitting their kids and going to the shops for them. The point is though, I don't really want to kill them, because I'll tell you why. Genuinely, they have told me that they appreciate me. I know at the same time it's trying to mock me, use me, try and lower me, because they are so riddled with existential envy towards me. Which again, you could perceive as a compliment. I fundamentally lack arrogance, and just I'm led by compassion and veracity. So here's the thing. So I said to Davod, no, don't do it, because I'm not that kind of a man, you know, and I appreciate it that, you know, compared to Moses and Jesus, Yahushua of Nazareth, you know, I'm a better man, you know, so I'm the best man that's ever lived on this planet, and I say that obviously fundamentally void of arrogance. It's just a fact, right? And these creatures have actually led me to know this, right? They've told me, you tower above us, fucking stop punching down. And you know, whilst punching up, whilst committing all these crimes against me, whilst every kind of crime you can think of for fucking donkey's years, so that I wake up and say, okay, listen, stop your crimes, and I'll suck your foot, and I'll suck your cock, and I'll sell my fucking soul. It's never going to happen, you know. I'm going that way, you know. Even if I end up, you know, in the woods eating a tin of beans with a penny piece, you know, and moths flying about my head for some reason, you know, at midnight with no trousers on, you know, which is nothing unusual for me. So the point is, though, to cut long story short, I'd rather that, you know, like St. Paul, his fate, when he followed Yahushua of Nazareth, he was a very, very evil man, St. Paul, and he ended up in an open prison that essentially was like a drain, a drain that Roman soldiers would urinate down, and they would urinate down into the cell that St. Paul was in. And St. Paul had committed all these fucking really, really evil crimes. However, when he found Yahushua of Nazareth, a man not as good as me, he was so influenced, he saw the fucking light. Alright? And these creatures told me that they saw in me this great person, you know, and he was looking for someone with a heart of gold, and he was looking for someone to kind of like have a kind of biblical relationship with, where either we bond for eternity or destroy ourselves against each other, and in a kind of hyper competitive state where essentially he has delusions of intelligence and he has delusions of grandeur, but and like I say, they test you and test you and test you, and the problem is, though, every day they wake up and it's 1984. So even if you've excelled yourself, even if you've given them the greatest gifts that is possible to give someone, the next day they wake up and essentially they've forgotten it, and they test you again, and their minion would contact me and say,
Pretty much, Joseph. Every day we're walking backwards.
Pretty much, Joseph. Every day's the exact same fucking day. You need to smoke some fucking marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Every day we're walking backwards.
and so, and some of them would say to me, you know, look, just wait for them to die, you know, or you're going to die, because they are genuinely killing you slowly but surely. They're irradiating you in order to see through your pineal gland, through your eyes. And for you are the brightest, you're the brightest man that's ever fucking lived. You have this huge gargantuan soul, and they know you're going to heaven, and they're so magical in their thinking, they think somehow they can take your soul half you and they'll ascend into heaven, you know, this wee jobby, this wee insect inside a jobby in a human soul, a living Christ, it will appear in heaven, you know, and you know, somehow magically love itself will not recognise, oh, hang on a second here, there's a fucking jobby with an insect inside that trying to get into heaven. Get to fuck. So, you know, I saw a vision of hell, right, when I was 22, and I foolishly, some might think, asked to see a vision of hell. I kept thinking again and again and again and again, what happens? What happens when you reach the event horizon? What happens when you reach that ultimate second? I thought about the penultimate second, the ultimate second. What happens? What happens after that? And I'd had a car wreck of stress factors all come together at the one time. Moving house, splitting up with a chick, stopping drinking 3 litres of cola every day, stopping drinking coffee every day, stopping smoking loads and loads of cigarettes every fucking day. All as and a relative passing away who's half good, half bad. And the point is, all this shit happened at the exact same time. And I had this experience where I kept thinking, what happens after you fucking reach that event horizon? What happens when you die? And you should never ever think about that, because it's narcissism. And next thing, this fucking, got this fucking blow right to the fucking middle of my forehead, bang, right? And my soul fucked off, right? I'm not kidding you. My halo, my warm halo, I didn't even know I fucking had. See ya! My halo fucked off, right? And I was freezing fucking cold, standing on a rock, floating through space into what seemed like an infinity of fuck all. And next thing, away I went, down a fucking well, right? Wait for it, just before that happened, every single atom revealed itself before my fucking eyes. Every single fucking atom started bristling. I saw every single atom going like this. Right? Every single atom. Imagine seeing every single atom side by side in front of your eyes go, right? And then away I went. I did ask, what happens after you die? Now, why would the most loving and wonderful man of all fucking time be shown hell? Why? The answer is, well, what happened? I went down this inking well, and it turned, every fucking day it loaded in, I got fucking lower, loaded in, got lower, and I thought, oh no, this inking fucking well, and I couldn't do anything about it. It got worse and worse every fucking day, until it turns out there's actually a bottom to hell, right? It's solid underfoot when you get there. It's called the pit of despair. And so I was way down there. I thought, fuck, how did I ever get back out of this? Imagine trying to climb out a well, right? Where the walls are made of thick, thick ink and you're at the very, very fucking bottom and it's taking you ages to slide down that far. Imagine being there. I was there, right? I did ask, and I was shown. Why was I shown, Why would I be shown that? Every fucking atom bristling, and then away I go to hell. What? I'm the most loving man that's ever fucking lived, Moses shoved people off a cliff, Yehoshua got Yehuda nailed to a fucking tree and battered people with a fucking bullet, and no one's without sin, no one is perfect. However, compared to every single motherfucker on this planet, I'm a different fucking species. However, the point is this though, so away I went, I was down there, and I thought to myself, I'm never going to get back out. And then a comedian came on the television called Bill Hicks, and the first thing he said was, right? And he started talking about suck Satan's cock. I thought he was doing OTT, and I thought, oh come on, Bill, for fuck's sake. And I found myself laughing. I didn't know you could laugh in hell, right? And he went on, you must suck Satan's cock. Right? And on he went. So why did I get that? I found myself laughing in hell, and I started lifting, right? I made that sound with my shoes at the same time. And the thing is, though, and up I went. Took a while, and then all in from start to finish, 18 months. And I stood on the fucking mouth of hell and looked back down, right? And my heels were still hanging over, and I looked back down and went, what the fuck? I thought to myself, I'm never ever going to think about death ever again, and I've not feared death since that moment. When you actually can see down into fucking hell, when you've been to fucking hell, and you've seen that it is made of life particles, people who have sinned their entire life by choice, because it doesn't matter what you're born like, everybody has a fucking soul. Every creature knows right from wrong, and those who repetitively choose to be evil without feeling remorse, without blaming themselves, they lose pieces of their soul until they just fucking plummet, right, to hell for eternity. And what hell is, I repeat, are all these little life particles, which is what we are. We're tiny little life particles, and we have this life support system that gives us an illusion that we're big, But I can cut your fucking hand off, cut your other fucking hand, you're still you. I can cut your leg off, you're still you. I can cut your eye out, you're still you. I can gouge your tongue out and replace your organs with plastic organs, you're still you. I can take most of your fucking brain, you're still you. In my case, I wouldn't be, because most of my brain works. However, here's the thing though, in a nutcake, in hell, it is just these tiny little life particles who've plummeted, because without your soul to carry you in that direction, I got my soul back, I feel so warm, and I experienced what it's like to have no soul, it fucked off, and so it came back, and then this beautiful kind of brown spirit guide came to me, this divine guide, and she essentially loved me and looked after me, and you couldn't make this up, right? So I got these gifts all at the fucking exact same time after being shown what happens after you die if you're evil. And I'm the antithesis of evil. Why would I be shown that? And then lifted by a divine guide and Bill Hicks just after he'd fucking died, Coincidence? Anyway, so I've had these divine guides, and the long and the short of it is this though. So hell is genuinely just all these sinners who knew right from wrong, no matter what they were born like, no matter what defects, no matter whatever injuries, whatever, bouncing down the road, losing their testicles, whatever. The point is, hell is just these life particles all together for eternity going like this. And the thing is, there's no difference. There's no difference. The insects of the court of King Caractacus and the insects of Prince Nathaniel, when I analysed them, when I magnified and amplified through these lenses they gave me essentially all the way down, and the greed lens to see the animate shite they rip the souls off and fucking take with them to hell deliberately. And don't tell them that. They want to take them with them. But when they get there, there is no company. I mean, think about it. You know, they're not going to chat away to each other. They're not going to like share billions and like maybe like, oh yeah, what did you do today? What did you do today? For eternity, freezing fucking cold at the bottom of hell, as far a distance as it's possible to be from the source of love itself, which is everywhere on this fucking planet, and yet you're cut off from it by absolute evil bastards that don't want you to feel it, don't want you to fucking know it, don't want you to channel it, don't want you to realise the meaning of life itself is compassion. What is compassion? Giving love. You know, is love just about receiving? No, that's narcissism. So love is about giving, you know, and funny enough, I'm always the last to know, it's in giving that you receive, and I receive phenomenal gifts all the time. Here's the thing, right, so I repeat, I saw fucking hell, and I got out of hell. It took a while to recover from that, you know, because essentially it was brain damage. And I had that experience, you know, I asked for it, I got it, and I've seen hell, and I'm saying to you, that's where these creatures are going, and there's fuck all they can do about it, unless they are part of the solution and leave an enormous lasting legacy that actually proves to be something that is genuinely a solution that stops the lambs going to the slaughter, who are going to the slaughter right now, including their entire court, and their entire court, all of them are being murdered right now. Who by? Pharaoh's fuck toys. Who are Pharaoh's fuck toys? The creatures Moses fucked off a cliff, who then murdered him, and then, if you know your history, work it all out for yourself. The point is, they're in charge, they're at the bottom, and they're murdering them. Why? Because they can rely upon them to play a game, whilst Rome burns. They can rely upon them to murder the greatest people that are on the planet, who can actually help save everybody, and to stop them from doing so. Why? Because they're riddled with existential envy, riddled with it, and if you tell the fucking truth, they want to murder you. And what is the truth? The truth is, they can see through your fucking eyes, through your pineal gland, right? And all these fucking desperate pieces of shite that in their court who dance about going, they're spastics with shite behind their eyes, right? They're fucking insects, right? And you're not to punch down, even when they're committing countless crimes against you. So I thought about it, and I said to Davod, I've thought about it. And he said to me, great, Joseph, shall we just fucking kill them? I said no, because my vision of fucking hell and my knowledge of true love means if you fucking kill these pieces of shit, instead of trying to be part of the solution, try to work out some kind of harmonic bridge between these lunatics. And I know every day is 1984 to them. However, if you can be part of the fucking solution, if you can do these things, then I assure you, you must, in fact. Otherwise, you will suffer the consequences, right? And I'm telling you, it's inescapable, and I've fucking seen hell. And what I'm saying is, even if I hadn't seen hell, I'm a good motherfucker. I don't want to be a serial killer. I don't want to be a mass fucking murderer. Even of serial killers, if there's any other way, if there's a fucking solution, we must be part of the solution, or we're part of the problem. And there, aren't we becoming the thing that we fucking so-called hate? And I don't hate anyone or anything. I'll tell the truth. And it turns out people hate the truth. And therefore, they hate me and think I hate them because I love the fucking truth. And I'll tell the truth as I'm fearless. And Davod said, fuck them, I'm just going to kill them. And I said, Davod, don't do it. Do not fucking do it. I assure you, it will come back to you. And Davod said, no, I've killed fucking billions of people, planet to planet, planet to... I only target the ones that fucking deserve it, the fucking serial killers. These fucking evil bastards that prey on people, they're rings of fucking serial killers. They're everywhere, these fucking evil bastards, right? They're fucking insects, right? I've killed fucking people, whole fucking solar systems. I've fucking done them in. I torture them, by the way. I fucking round them all up and put them in a field and fucking go, and then I fucking bomb them and fucking torture them and fucking set fire to them and fucking, take that, you cunt, you fucking deserve it. Take that, you fucking bastard, right? They deserve it, by the way, I'm telling you. And how come I've gone from planet, solar system, fuck all's happened to me? I said, well, Davod, you've obviously got a really good point there, right? You know, right, fair enough. If you've murdered all these fucking serial killers who you believe deserved it, and I wouldn't doubt you get the technology to work out who deserves it. I presume it's the fMRI brain scan you can do where, you know, the front of their brain doesn't function and it's their own fault for having self-spasticated and turned themselves into a fucking arsehole because they chose to and essentially develop an internal dummy teeth that they suck when they're being evil, which they think is power, and also instead of developing grey matter, which allows you to see yourself as others see you, have a moral conscience, and then develop depth and feeling, all these kind of wonderful things that King Caractacus and fucking Prince Nathaniel are incapable of comprehending, because in their world it's just a hyper competition and existential envy, greed, and all these really wonderful things. So anyway, evil, and debasing themselves and debasing other people and dragging everyone to fucking hell with them. So I thought to myself about Davod's theory, you know, where he has gone from galaxy to galaxy and killed all these bad bastards, you know, and he's not been killed yet. I still thought about it though, and I thought, well, I've seen hell, and I know love exists. It has always existed, and it's everywhere, and you just have to channel it. Just channel it. No matter, even if you're in prison like St. Paul, with people pissing down there. For example, guard would come in to batter fuck out St. Paul, and he would just tell them about love, and they would sit down next to him, and they wouldn't kick his cunt in. They would actually just have a great laugh with him, and he'd chat away to them. You know, he did not go to heaven. You know, he spiraled somewhere. You know, and that's the best thing that can happen to evil people. They can get a scintilla, a scrap of soul back if they decide to become part of the solution. There's a fucking highway to heaven where souls come and go all the fucking time, and if you lose your fucking soul, you can get a scrap of it back. And the best thing that can happen is you don't go to fucking hell. You get a wee scrap of that soul, and you will spiral somewhere out there. You know, you'll come back. It's called reincarnation, right? And so you get another fucking chance. Isn't that better than going to hell for eternity, right? From what I've seen. And so nonetheless, so I thought about all of this, and so I told Davod, look, no, don't do it, right? I know these creatures, I know there's millions and millions of them. It's not just King Caractacus and Prince Nathaniel. And if anything, they've actually helped me, although they take advantage of everything that I fucking do. And so what I'm pointing out is, I know they've got a whole court of fucking absolute walking shite, you know, who are the scum of the fucking earth. And behind their backs, they tell me that. And so, winning! So... winning. They'll probably not dance as merrily in front of me from now. No, they probably will. And so, in a nutcake, so I said to Davod, look, don't do it, because I absolutely fucking assure you, at some juncture it will catch up with you. You can keep running, you can keep flying, moving, you know, it will, because it's a fucking law. You cannot escape gravity. The greatest scientists on earth in history, quantum physicists, any physicist will tell you, ask them this question, what's gravity? Any physicist, right, quantum physicist, right, any physicist, say, what's gravity? Throughout history, they can't tell you. And so they come up with a fancy word. If you say to them, okay, would you just try and roughly work out what gravity is? And they'll tell you. You know, the closest I can get is like the Higgs boson, and people say, fuck off. Anyway, that's spin 2, it's got to be spin 2 or spin 0, spin. I don't give a monkeys. It's the closest I can get to, and I know it's not the case. However, it's a wonderful thing, Higgs boson, and look into it. The point is though, you know, nobody can explain what gravity is, and the closest they can get to is graviton. A made up word. A made up word. Every single physicist and quantum physicist on earth and in history have made up one word. Think about that. Right? The greatest minds of all fucking time, who are thick as shit by comparison to me, damn fuckers, right? And all they can come up with is one word, and it's a made up word, right? Graviton. And to explain what gravity is and dismiss all these other theories and blah blah blah. Gravity exists though, and it acts on absolutely everything, everywhere, at all times, no matter what the fuck you do. It will take its toll on you if you fucking go against it foolishly. It will take its toll on you. Fact. You know, he bounced down the fucking road when his testicles went flying. You know, he falls over on a regular basis, and you know, he's got a square arse. The point is, to conclude, gravity acts on absolutely everyone at every time, everywhere you fucking go, everywhere. Amazing that, isn't it? And no one can explain it. It's a law. And the moral law of divinity behind that, I call it the moral law of divinity. I discovered it when I was 26, and discovered that my late mother was a Satan worshipper. Never mind. The point is, though, that moral law of divinity, as I called it, but it is being channeled from love itself, the source of love itself, and it basically rewards you, or punishes you, or it's indifferent to you. So, and that's up to you. You know, if you're good, you'll get fantastic rewards with it in next to no time. That's what an amazing coincidence. I've been getting phenomenal rewards for 27 fucking years. Rewards that amaze even like billionaires. You know, they're going, what the fuck? You know, how's he getting? We were trying to kill him. You know, but the point is though, so for 27 years I've been getting phenomenal rewards because I'm a really good motherfucker. And in the nutcake, you know, whereas these creatures, right, they are punished slowly yet surely, particularly, personally, individually, and it returns what you fucking deserve, and you get what you fucking deserve, and it's brutal, right? Brutal what they're reduced to. And so I say to Davod, no, you can't do this, because I assure you at some juncture it will catch up with you, Davod. Well, the fuck? I've gone from galaxy to galaxy. I'm telling you, I'm your fucking guru. Right, let's just kill these cunts. Look, because I'm telling you, they're crucifying you. You don't realise yet. They've fucking irradiated you. They've got a fucking chip inside your fucking, a wee tiny fucking, like, it's like space dust in your pineal gland. You can see your fucking eyes. You see when you're fucking wanking. I've seen when you're fucking wanking. Davod, for fuck's sake, why is everybody watching me when I'm wanking? I've just seen through your eyes. It's just, you do wank, you know, once every 2 or 3 days. I love women from a safe distance, you know. So fair enough. Right, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying to you is, I've seen hell. I know that love exists, and it punishes you. You think love, surely it's buttercups and roses and fucking harps and harps and you know, and chocolates. If you're dating a woman, always have chocolates. The point is though, you'll end up in court. The point is though, in a nutcake. So I'm saying to you that in a nutcake, I'll say it again, that love punishes you. It punishes you so fucking severely, it's almost unbelievable. And it punishes you just so you have enough time to atone and make amends. However, most evil people are so stupid, they never put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. So in other words, say they kill that old woman or that beautiful man, you know, whatever they do, and then they're punished for it at a later date because love, you know, gives them enough time to atone and make amends for their sins. And so when they're punished severely and particularly and personally, individually, brutally, they never work out, all right, I murdered that person and I got brutally punished, right? They never put 2 and 2 together. Isn't that a phenomenal punishment? Worse, people who are evil tend to have the exact same thought over and over again. So I first christened them unitards when I was magnifying these creatures all the way fucking down, right? A unitard. Then I realised they're actually monotards. Then I went further, they're actually insectoid, right? And so these creatures though will genuinely beg you to not even reflect them exactly as they are, because it horrifies them, because you're meant to fear what they call power. You know, billionaires with weapons and armies and control of an entire system, and every corrupt arsehole and every whore drawing breath and greedy arsehole throwing their fucking souls away and, you know, sucking their feet and their cogs, you know, and taking up the arse, you know, butt plugs flying everywhere and dafties dancing about the woods, you know, following me. The point is though, to cut long story short, right, I'll just cut to the chase, right, the moral law of divinity punishes you personally, brutally. It gives you time to atone. If you don't atone, these people are so stupid, these monotards, these unitards, these insectoid creatures, they will repeat the exact same sin over and 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 over again, right? Right? Every day is 1984, right? They get up, ching, and it's 1984, ching, it's 1984. And so basically, therefore they're going to be punished again, right? Isn't that an amazing thing? Isn't that like the greatest punishment there is? To be arrested in a state where you're going to be punished again and again and again and again and again, just deserts after just deserts, lashings and lashings of just deserts. And the younger members of the court of King Caractacus and Prince Nathaniel, they're too stupid to grasp this yet because they're too young. You know, when they get older and older, they'll realise, oh fuck, they were dreadfully betrayed by King Caractacus and Prince Nathaniel who knew it. They were taking them with them to fucking hell, right? And I've seen fucking hell, and they will get there, and there's no way out of it unless they choose to become part of the solution instead of what they are at the moment. Part of a fucking global problem they could be part of the solution for, if it's possible, right? And yet, what they will do is they'll murder those that can actually save them, and save all those around them, the ones who they're supposed to love, but essentially uses fuck toys to aggrandise themselves. So all I'm pointing out is, so punishment after 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 punishment, right? And they never fucking learn. And then so there's the greatest punishment there is, having the exact same thought every fucking minute of every fucking day, right? To go right, because they set people up, and you know, and they can essentially aggrandise themselves by mocking true love. And to cut long story short, they're the butt of that joke. They're a bunch of arseholes, you know, essentially, and that's it. Just they laugh at the exact same joke every fucking day. It doesn't get more being the butt of a joke really than that. And so all I'm pointing out is there's the ultimate punishment, and I've fucking seen it. I've seen fucking hell, right? And there's a bottom to hell, and at that bottom, you know what it is. Right? And that is what they're like here, you know. They just have the exact same thought over again. If you actually meet them, that's how they go on, like, you know, they already are essentially on their way to hell, and you can actually see that. You can actually see that. I mean, they are imps, you know. And I started to think to myself, do you know what? There's two towers, and in one tower there's a monk, and in the other tower there's a monk, and this tower is completely crawling with imps, and this tower has no imps. I want to be that monk, you know. I'm that monk, you know. Essentially my life is crawling with imps, you know, because I'm such a really good motherfucker. I'm the greatest man who's ever lived on this planet. I'm just telling you the truth. And so I say to Davod, don't do it, because I know for a fact the ultimate punishment is hell. After everything, they'll never learn, ever learn. Every day's 1984 with these fools, right? And their minion who are fucking scum, gutter, trash, filth, insects really in human form. And what I'm saying is, these sadistic sex offenders, these serial killers, yeah, you could murder them, and I can understand that. It might seem to make the world a better place, but you'll get it, Davod. You will fucking get it, right? And because it will catch up with you, it's inescapable. And do you really want to end up in hell with them?
I never really thought on that, but see what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking kill them anyway.
And no matter what the fuck I could say, I couldn't talk Davod out of it. Couldn't. And he'd done it everywhere, you know. So essentially he was repeating himself. And no matter what the fuck I said about love is the greatest punisher there is. You think about that. Love, which is everywhere, you can channel it, you can experience it, and I experience it on a regular basis and try and give it, you know, as best as I can. And so within reason. And the long and the short of it is that it is the most brutal force you could possibly imagine, right? And ultimately it kills you, right? And that's it. And you can actually then be dispatched to hell, which is quite brutal, isn't it? You know, where you'll spend eternity going, right? Which is what they go on like in front of me, these imps, you know, they are all like that. And so, monotards and unitards, insectoid. And so that's quite brutal after a life of being punished. And so I couldn't get through to Davod. I couldn't get through him. You know, no matter what the fuck I said, he was determined to do what he'd done on all these different fucking planets and kill every single serial killer on Earth. And it turns out there are probably somewhere between 6 to 10 million serial killers right now on Earth. right, who are part of individual rings and a kind of a larger global ring, and they're all essentially involved in games where they target individuals and find it funny as they slowly murder these individuals. And then lie pathologically, slander these people and try and rope people into psychologically abusing them. So everywhere they go, they're abused everywhere they go. And so it doesn't work on me though, because I'm up here, I'm up in the fucking clouds, and
Don't punch down, Joseph!
Don't punch down, Joseph!
while they're committing every crime under the sun against me. And so Davod just killed them. He's killed them. He's killed them. And I couldn't stop him. He killed every single fucking one of them. He killed probably somewhere between 6 to 10 million. I didn't go and personally count them, and he came back to me and said,
Right, that's me away, Joseph. Right, I've killed every single one of these fucking pieces of dirt. Right, these fucking evil sex offenders, these fucking sadistic fucking scumbags, these fucking insectoid pieces of shite. That's me. I'm going away again. I'm going to do it again, right? I'm just going to fix my spaceship before I go.
and so I really wish they had done it. I know the world would seem to be a better place without them, however, is it fuck? What the ones at the very bottom of what I call the turd of Babel, which is the equivalent of the Egyptian pyramids turned upside down, made of shite and put under the ground. You can make it up. And so Pharaoh's fuck toys are at the very bottom, essentially dragging us all down to fucking hell. If they could, I'm going that direction. So Davod went off to fix his spaceship, and I regretted it. But although I did walk the world, which is mutated right at this moment in time with Omnicide, where just about everything you can think of, with the vast majority of things are mutated physically, genetically, just about everything you can think of: trees, children, food, vegetables, animals, birds. Just about everything's been mutated, and it's been being mutated at least since 1945. So that's quite a long time to be mutated for. And if you watch Total Recall, the movie, you'll see what they want for your future. Winning. So anyway, however, I would like that not to be the future. And I think if we can keep billions of people alive, this minority of scumbags that Moses fucked off a cliff, we shouldn't have done. Nonetheless though, if we can keep billions of people alive, then this minority of walking shite will have to change the narrative, they'll have to change their fucking tune, and perhaps they can decide to be part of the solution, come out and say, we're part of the solution, and the solution's Hopple 14. We've decided to save you, and it's a shame that what's been happening since 1945. We've come up with Hopple 14. Everybody can take Hopple 14, and it'll cure you of radiation that you didn't realise you were dying from. Right? And there's also microplastics, nanoplastics, heavy metal, and everything that children put down their fucking throat. What you put in a microwave, it goes ping. The stuff you put, the tub it comes in, it leaks chemicals that are toxic and fucking slowly murder you. And wait for it, what chicks put up their vagina, that gives them cervical cancer. It's quite important to know. There's so many ways you're being slowly fucking murdered right now. I'm fully cognizant of it, and I'm saying the people causing this to happen are deliberately doing it to you. And what I'm saying is, there are solutions, and all we have to do is keep billions of people alive. And one of the solutions is Hopple 14. If you start taking Hopple 14 when it's good enough, I mean, it already is out there, you can start fucking taking that and give it to the youngest people you can give it to, and it's almost like a miracle cure for everything that's going on out there, radiation wise. There's also technology I've looked into where you can get rid of heavy metals, you can get rid of microplastics, nanoplastics. I would like to grow on a grand scale within a contained environment using specific types of materials, where essentially a product I've called Pure Love, and give it specifically to children, pregnant women. There's also technology you can use where pregnant women, for example, pregnant women don't realise, see, if you've got an earth mat, a grounded earth mat, and the pregnant woman lies on the grounded earth mat, her child is less likely to be born autistic. And they don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know this, because it's a massive suicide cult because of what they've become, because what they've been reduced to, because love won't stop punishing them, right? And what do? When they're punished? They then target other innocent people and pretend that they're karma. If you reflect them exactly as they are, they pretend you're a very bad person, and you're supposed to fall for that shit. Serial killers telling you're a very bad person. You can make it up. So anyway, when they were all dead and gone, right, all that was left was this irradiated planet. Covered in microplastics, fucking nanoplastics, heavy metal everywhere, and I had to deal with this, right? And so I thought, well, it's a big operation, but at least I'm not going to be held back by rings of fucking spastics with shite behind their eyes. These fucking insects, these wee sadistic fucking... You know, you couldn't make it up. So I genuinely fell asleep for 1,000 years and I woke up on a planet called Insectville, right? And so, yeah, there's one in there. So the point is, to cut long story short, basically, I heard this thud, right? An almighty thud. And I thought Davod was away. You know, I was going to wave to him, and I was just deep in thought. And I went out, and this is what I saw.
Joseph! Joseph, help me!
And I ran out, and it turns out Davod was under his spaceship.
Fuck's sake! Joseph, my spaceship's falling on me!
I didn't know what the fuck to do. How do you get a fucking megaton fucking spaceship off a galactical fucking serial killer? I tried my best, used all the strength I had.
For fuck's sake, Joseph, get off me! For fuck's sake, he's crushing me to death!
I couldn't. What the fuck could I do? And what could I say? I didn't have to say anything. And Davod said,
I get it now.
pure love.